Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our July 14 Employee Information Meeting. This is Andy Ritter speaking, and we've got a lot of information to go through today. Some of it gets pretty dense, so I hope you're all ready for a very informative meeting. Just a reminder to everyone, please make sure that you have muted your microphone and turned off your camera. And just to make everybody aware, we are recording this session, and we will post access to it on SharePoint here the next couple of days. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. So for those who aren't aware, today is Bastille Day. That is traditionally considered France's Independence Day when they stormed the Bastille. So for anybody that follows that kind of thing, happy Bastille Day. We're going to jump right in with a number of things related to benefits, and we'll start with our benefits bite. We always try to do these as a way to keep everybody up to speed on elements of our benefit plans that are available to you. Sometimes they go unused or unknown, and we want to make sure you get the full benefit of the package that you have, whether you are a member of UHC and or Delta Dental and or a Guardian for some of our voluntary benefits and or IMED. So what we're going to talk about here is preventive health checks. So as you can see from the slide, a large majority, 70% of Americans die annually from some kind of chronic disease. And a lot of those are preventable if they had been caught earlier. And so there is a focus for all of us and in our UHC medical plan on preventive care. And the idea is to shift your attention from treatment to wellness and for good health. So examples of preventive care, there's numerous of them: colonoscopies, mammograms, immunizations of all kinds, both for your children and for yourselves. Good, healthy living is another. But preventative visits to the doctor's office or to a clinic for things such as screenings and health assessments are really, really critical. And the main thing we want to make sure everybody is aware of is if you are a member of UHC, your preventive health care needs are 100% covered. There's no deductible. There's nothing that you pay. The idea is to incent you to catch things early. So there's no reason not to. Make the time, make the effort, schedule those appointments, get those checks. If you're over 50, get your colonoscopy as an example, and have those checks done. They don't cost you anything. They can save you money. More importantly, they can save your life. So please look into those. And unrelated to UHC, but in the category of preventative medicine, one of the things that is available to anybody that is a member of Delta Dental are your twice-a-year checkups, and a key part of that is teeth cleaning. So that is also proactive preventive care, even though that's Delta Dental, not UHC. And you may remember that we talked a little bit about this in one or two meetings ago, and it really surprised Cheryl Hader and I. Cheryl is our benefits manager, when we realized that a little less than half of the people that have the Delta Dental program are actually taking advantage of their twice-a-year checkups and teeth cleaning. That is one of the main reasons you have that Delta Dental coverage. So you're paying for the insurance. We really encourage you to make those appointments and keep those appointments twice a year. And as one incentive, we had a contest recently where we said over the last 6 months, basically January through the end of June, we would have some giveaways for people that participated and did a teeth cleaning during that 6-month period. And no enrollment was necessary because we have Delta Dental records. And so we'd like to announce today the people that did the right thing, got the teeth cleaning, got the health checkup, and now they get a little something extra. So first of all, I'd like to recognize, and I don't think they even know this yet, but Amish Bhatt over in accounting in the tax section, winner of an electric toothbrush. Michelle Garza in Brownsville. Congratulations, Michelle. Also, electric toothbrush. More importantly, healthy teeth and a good checkup. In addition, $50 gift cards went out to Sammy P in production. One of our team leaders does a great job out there. And last but not least, Freddie Gomez. Freddie Martinez is a $50 gift card winner as well. So they received those for having gotten their teeth cleaning. So congratulations to them. Some are on this call, some are not, but we will let them know. And again, encourage all of you to take advantage of the benefits you're already paying for. Get those teeth cleanings. So I'm going to use that as a segue to talk about a COVID update. And while I'm talking, you can kind of read through those two little news snippets. And unfortunately, this is the world we live in. I've got one from CNN and one from Fox, because I know half trust the one and half don't trust the other. So you can choose the one you prefer to look at, but they're both saying basically the same thing thematically. And I'll talk about that in a minute. And so while you're reading, I'll just say for the last several months, we've been doing an update on the number of cases, positive cases of COVID diagnosis amongst Allied globally. And I'm really glad to say that for the first time, we've gone an entire month without a single additional case globally, not here at AMP and not in any of our affiliates. Now, we do have recently a contract employee who is a key member of the AMSA team in South Africa, responsible for maintenance. He was diagnosed with COVID, and right now they're really battling that in South Africa, but technically he's not an employee. And so technically we didn't have any other cases of employees since our meeting in June. But my fear is, and I think the fear of the rest of the management team, is that could change based on some of the things you're seeing in these two little news updates. So we've had a lot of discussion in the governance committee and some smaller groups about the fact, and you've seen this on the news if you've been keeping your eyes open, that the Delta variant is going strong, and there are pockets of it throughout the United States, actually throughout the whole globe, but particularly in the United States. There are some areas such as in Missouri, Arkansas, other places where they're getting 200, 300% increase in positive cases due to the Delta variant. And the other factor that correlates with that is, and this is the science, doesn't matter where you are on the issue of COVID, the statistics are the same regardless of your news outlet, that there is a correlation of people that are not vaccinated, or pockets, groups that are not vaccinated, cities, counties, where there's low vaccination. There is also a correlation of high cases of COVID infection. It just is what it is. And that is very concerning, because the vaccination rates in the US have really plateaued. Starting in January and into really March and April, where they hit records of about 3 million people getting vaccinated. We are down to about 500 to 600,000 a day getting vaccinated now, which is a real drop off. And a lot of you may have heard the number 70% being thrown around a lot in the media, a lot by scientists and by the president, saying to get herd immunity, we need about 70% of the total US population to be vaccinated. Well, you can see from that graph that we really aren't there, and we've really slowed down. Part of that is because people have stopped, people who do not want to get vaccinated are not getting vaccinated. And there's also an age issue there too. People under 12 cannot be vaccinated, and a lot of younger people are choosing not to be vaccinated. And the one good news out of this is, if you look at the 65 and up, you can see pretty high percentages of vaccinated, either one dose or fully vaccinated, meaning they've had the 2-dose or they've had the 1-dose Johnson & Johnson, and then have since, it's been 2 weeks since those vaccinations, and therefore they are fully vaccinated. So our most vulnerable population through most of this COVID pandemic has been 65 and up. And increasingly, the most vulnerable are now young people. If you look at where we are state-wise, where we have facilities, Ohio, Texas, and Alabama, you can see from those graphs at the bottom of the page that we are under the goal of 70% significantly in all three states. And Ohio and Texas, a little below kind of the midpoint of what you see when you look at the states. Alabama, unfortunately, is significantly below. They're probably in the bottom 5 of states in terms of percentage of population who've gotten vaccinated. So why am I going on and on about vaccinations? Well, because as Yogi Berra once said, it ain't over till it's over. Meaning for us as people, this could affect your health. The fact that individually, some of our allied employees, and depending where they are, significant numbers of allied employees are still not vaccinated. That could affect their health. The fact that they are in areas with people that are not vaccinated means, just as you saw in those 2 articles that I had on the previous slide, that because of that correlation of the Delta virus with people that are not vaccinated, we are seeing significant increases in pockets in communities throughout the U.S. of people falling under the spell, becoming positive diagnosis for COVID. And depending on what you read, I'm no scientist, I'm not going to pretend this is absolute, but there's a growing number of people that are saying the infections are worse under this variant as well. Certainly, even if it's just as bad as before, that's really not good. So because of these, we're not getting that herd immunity, and because we have some people that are not getting vaccinated, that could affect your health. And if that all occurs, that could affect our business. So it ain't over, meaning we are not out of the woods. A lot of people think that it's kind of done. COVID's done. People are getting vaccinated. All the restrictions have been ended by just about every state and most businesses. But it could affect your health and it could affect our business, because this could go right back to a year ago. And we could have states shutting down. We're still seeing that globally. Some of our affiliates are in locations now where there are still heavy restrictions on doing business, on having recreational fun. There are still curfews and so forth in some communities. They've been on, they've been off. They could be coming back on here. That could affect our business. We were barely able to keep operating under the pandemic originally in spring of last year. And we certainly saw that we had a couple of years where we lost, a couple of months where we lost money last year. So this is very real and it could come back. So please be careful. This is not over. So if it affects our business, how will it do that? Again, community shutdowns and other restrictions, we could have entire states shut down. And we very easily may be in a situation where we will go back to requiring masks at Allied. Nobody wants to do that. I certainly don't want to do that, but we may have to go back there if we start seeing the numbers rise again. We might end up having to have people work from home again. We don't know. We'll have to see. So these are all potential risks that could occur. And it could be location specific. So what I'm saying there is, and we've had some discussions internally about this already, hopefully none of this comes to pass, but it's possible that where before it was one size fits all of our COVID protocols, all of our restrictions and requirements were across the board for all facilities, all locations in the US for AMP. It's possible that depending on the location, we will have some restrictions in one location at one facility and not have them at the other because the rates are different for infection or the risks are different. So the point to be made there is that we are looking at a return of COVID. We're planning for a return to COVID. We hope that does not happen. A couple things that could keep that from happening would be if more people get vaccinated, both in communities and, yes, for Allied, for employees at Allied, if those who have not gotten vaccinated will get vaccinated. We still are hoping you will do that. Hopefully this won't occur, but we do have a special planning committee that has been impaneled to begin the process of getting ready should this occur again. We have the advantage of warm weather now, and we know COVID does not like warm weather, but we will be going back into fall in several months. And so, why we could not have been ready for COVID the first time because nobody knew that was coming, we can absolutely be ready for it in this fall. So we will get ready. We will be prepared. We will have communication, policies, protocols ready to go should we need them. What you can do as employees is continue to be careful. Get vaccinated if you have not got vaccinated. If you choose not to be vaccinated, and it is a choice, strongly recommend that you continue to wear a mask. I see hardly any masks being worn here on the Columbus campus, and I know not everybody here is vaccinated. So it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's nothing to worry about if you wear a mask and others around you are not. Your health is more important. And so I would, if you choose not to be vaccinated, and it is a choice, certainly please choose to wear a mask. So since it's July and July 4th, even though we're a little past July 4th, we'll get a little patriotic here. And we would, Uncle Sam, maybe, Allied, certainly would like you all to sign up for the biometric screening, flu shot, and yes, possibly a COVID vaccine shot if you've not already had one. And we have enough people that are interested in getting them that we can provide them on site. So that leads us into August for the Columbus employees or those that live in or near Columbus. We will have our annual August biometric screen and flu shot clinic on August 31st, the last day of August, coming up in about a month and a half, by appointment only. So those of you who've been here for a while, you know the drill. We've been doing these for years. So you need to register. If you're in Columbus, you need to register by August 16, about a month from now. Please register by either sending an email to Cheryl Hayter or Addie Link. Their addresses are there. Or you can sign up in HR. This is for Columbus. So sign up in HR or send an email either to Cheryl or to Addie and let us know, do you want the biometric screen? Do you want a flu shot? And I strongly encourage flu shots for everyone. I do every year. I get one myself, and I strongly encourage you to do that. And thirdly, we need to know that if you're interested in getting a COVID vaccine also on that same day, if we get enough people that are wanting to get a COVID vaccine during that same day, and if we have enough people, we will be able to get a provider to come in here and give you a free COVID shot on site, no muss, no fuss. You'd be on the hook yourself to get your second shot, but we can at least get that first one to you, and there's no charge for the second one either. So we are hoping that people will sign up for that. It is contingent on getting enough people, but we'd like to at least try that as a way to encourage and facilitate those who have not been vaccinated to get vaccinated. So I know that was a lot of information. One more time, let us know if you're interested in getting a biometric screen. Let us know if you want a flu shot, and let us know if you want a COVID vaccine. All of that is free. All of that is available to both UHC and non-UHC members. So sign up by August 16th. It's, again, in the spirit of preventive health. This is a great step for you to take, and it could not be easier. You don't even have to walk off campus. A comment for our Pell City employees: the same clinic, the same biometric screening and clinic will be available to you in October. It's just a scheduling issue. So I don't have a slide for that. You will get information as October draws near. But for Pell City, you will have that same biometric screen, flu shot, and if we get enough people interested, vaccine, COVID vaccine as well. On site, that'll be October 12th. And the sign up deadline for that will be September 24th, and we'll get more information out to our Pell City colleagues as that draws nearer. For Brownsville, we're going to do what we always do because we don't have enough people to get an on-site clinic. We'll work with Magda to make sure that we have some available options for the folks in Brownsville, just like we do every year. So please consider that, and I strongly encourage you guys, be preventative, be proactive, get the flu shot, do your biometric screen, know your numbers, and certainly get a COVID vaccine and let us know. Okay, I'll get off the topic of COVID for a bit. And Columbus Employee and Family Day. So for Columbus employees and their families, we did have a sign up, and we have done ticket distribution for the anytime use tickets. They have all been distributed. I think we have a few. We didn't get all of them in one shot, so I think we're waiting on a few more to come from the Columbus Zoo. If you registered and haven't received your ticket yet, check in with HR. If you did not register, I'm sorry, we do not have tickets for you, and we cannot get tickets for you. That's why we needed you to register. But if you did register and have not received your tickets, let us know, and we'll make sure to get you taken care of. Something else I want to make sure that the Columbus folks are aware of, two things. The Zumbizi Bay tickets, if you did, and most people did, they did the Zumbizi Bay ticket option. Those tickets are only valid through September 6th. That's Labor Day. That's the last day that you can use those tickets. So keep in mind, we talk about anytime use all year, but it's all year while Zumbizi Bay is open. So make sure you plan to use those by September 6th. The zoo tickets are actually available through January 2. So you can even go on New Year's Day or January 2 if you choose. And if you have Zumbizi Bay tickets and you don't use them, September 6th comes and goes, you can still use those to get into the zoo. So just be aware of those deadlines. And for, again, Pell City, we have something different, obviously, for you guys in play. Tracy Thrower is finalizing some arrangements for that. And so we will have a similar kind of option, kind of some anytime use tickets for a different attraction for you and your families down in Alabama. So we are pretty bummed, frankly, that we are not doing a family event this year. We were really hoping that we could get everybody together. That's one of the nice things about that event, is that we all come together as a family with our families. We did take the precaution of not doing that this year because COVID is not gone for all the reasons I've already talked about. So we hope that you at least go and enjoy a fun day with your family on Allied. Don't forget about Allied as the provider of the tickets. Enjoy your family, and hopefully we'll all get together next year in a venue together. Now let's talk about telecommuting. So telecommuting is the name of the policy that we are using to do work from home. So we've had a lot of discussion about this. A lot of people are anxiously awaiting the non-COVID related work from home policy, or what we're calling the telecommuting policy. So it's very important and a lot of people that are on this call will be eligible to be considered for work from home or telecommuting. And so it's really important that we go through some of the details about what that is and how that works. So let me go through these next several slides. Implementation, we've said this several times before, but I want to remind everybody that we will implement the telecommuting policy, the work from home policy, September 6 and 7. The reason I say 6 and 7 is Monday is the 6th. It's a holiday, it's Labor Day. And so really the first day you would be able to take advantage of it would be September 7th. So just not even about a month and a half from now. Generally, to be eligible for consideration, you have to have been in your current job, not in working for Allied, but in your current role for 12 months or more. Reason being, if you're less than 12 months, you may not be fully capable of doing your job from home. There still may be coordination, learning, training acclimation you need to your current job if you're under 12 months, and you may not be able to get all of that if you're working from home. So generally, we would want people to be in their current position greater than or equal to 12 months. If you're in there less than 12 months, it will be considered, but it's going to be case by case, and it'd be questionable whether that will make sense. Another key point is there's a maximum of 2 days per week that can be worked from home for eligible employees. And the reason that it's 2 days per week and not all week is we wanted to make sure, there was a lot of discussion about this within Allied and amongst the management team, that we don't want to be in a situation where people are spending every day working from home, because after a while you start to disconnect. It just happens. The informal interactions that you have at work are part of the glue that holds everyone together, as part of what makes our culture, and frankly, it's part of what makes working at Allied enjoyable. And the concern is 3, 4, 5 days a week that you're working from home, after a while, you'll start losing that connection. Some people have said, well, wait a minute, we had a lot of people working from home for months on end during COVID, which is absolutely true. But the thing to keep in mind about COVID is A, that was health related. That wasn't policy for policy's sake. That was to keep everyone safe to the degree that we thought that would help. And secondly, when everybody's working from home, there's really nothing that you're missing out of in terms of the glue at work. It's a little bit of a different situation. You really can't compare that to, I'll say, normal operations where most people are working most, if not every day at work, and you're the person who is one of the few people that are not here. So needless to say, for that reason, and because this is kind of new to us, the maximum is 2 days per week. Could that change in the future? Perhaps, but at the start of this policy and our first kind of foray into normal operations with work from home, we will limit it to 2 days per week that someone can work from home. Allied will not pay for internet or office furnishings, but Allied will provide equipment as deemed necessary. And so that's going to be individual based, but you need to provide your own internet. And if you want wireless, provide your own wireless. Allied won't pay for additional chairs and furnishings. We've already done that here. You'll need to take care of that if you're working from home. Generally, not in every case, but generally, your hours will mirror those of the employees in your work group. So if most everybody in your team is working 8 to 5, chances are you'll probably need to work 8 to 5 as well when you're working from home. Employees can be required to come to site during telecommuting days to attend meetings, events at the discretion of the manager. So there may be customers coming in or vendors coming in that you need to meet with on a day that is normally your day to work from home. That's just the way it is. You'll need to come in for that if required by your manager. Similarly, if we have special events like an employee appreciation luncheon or something along those lines, maybe something within your team, maybe it's a team building event, what have you, you may need to come in on the day that you would normally work from home. Or if it's just a special meeting that requires your physical presence in the meeting. Not all positions, not all people will be eligible. This will be job and ability dependent, meaning for everyone who wants to do this, there will be a review, and we'll get into the approval process in a minute, of whether the job can be done productively at home, excuse me, and whether, no offense to anyone, but you have the discipline, the temperament, the ability to properly do your job at home, because quite honestly, not everybody can do that. And so we want to make sure that the job can be done from home and you can do the job well when you do it from home. It will require, for everyone who is going to have a work from home or a telecommuting factor in their schedule, it will require approval of your manager, your VP, and myself. I'm HR for all intents and purposes on this sheet. And there will be a signed agreement. The agreement will be you signing a document that restates the policy and it also confirms the days that you will be working from home and a few other things. And the reason we're doing that, just to make everybody understand, this is very real. There are very specific structured expectations. And we just want to make sure there are no misunderstandings or miscommunication of what those expectations are. And it starts with a 3-month trial process, and then it's assessed to see if it continues. And again, I know this may seem a little weird in that we've had a whole bunch of people that have been working from home for quite a while, up until recently. And so why does it seem like we're putting all this structure? But keep in mind, that was I'll call it event necessary, the work from home that we've been doing related to COVID. And we did it kind of in a bulk way, in that we had a whole bunch of people doing it from Columbus because needs dictated. This, however, is different, and this is long term. This could go on for years, and we just want to make sure that people are successful. And to be successful in kind of an altered schedule like this, it's real important that communication is clear and that everybody fully understand what's going on. We want people who are working from home to be as productive, to be as visible, to have the same kind of growth and satisfaction in their job as those that are working here every day. So in order to do that, we have some real structure here. So after 3 months of that trial process, there'll be an evaluation. How's it working? What needs to be changed or adjusted, if anything? And worst case scenario is just not working well, and we'll have to just call it and say, maybe this is not working well. But it's just to make sure that nobody gets forgotten, nobody is left kind of on the shelf. We want to make sure there's good, transparent visibility for anyone who's working from home. And then lastly, a regular assessment to ensure things are working well. So that's kind of a summary of how that works. To find the policy itself, it's very simple to get to. If you go on to the SharePoint homepage and click on Policies and Procedures, that's on the homepage, you'll see Policies and Procedures. And the next thing, you just click on the policy is there. It says a telecommuting policy. This graphic here says September. The one you will see says July. That is the current one, the one that's in there now. So it says telecommuting policy. It'll say July 2021. Click on that, and you will have the complete policy at your fingertips. So I encourage you, if you're interested in doing a telecommuting, even if you were working from home through most of COVID, please understand we have this kind of full, more robust policy about it. There's not any more restrictions. So I don't want you to think that, but there are more elements to it. And so I encourage you to read that policy if you think you want to do up to 2 days a week through the telecommuting policy. So where do we go from here? So if you would like to telecommute beginning September 7th, that's Tuesday, or sometime that week, let your manager know. And by the way, managers can apply to do this as well. So managers, let your manager know if that's the case. But contact your manager now, because we want to start this process now. We've only got about a month and a half, and begin discussing details. Details being, how will it work? What days will it be? What unique needs, if any, do you have? What conflicts could occur? What rescheduling or maybe changes would need to happen in your work schedule or your work arrangement if you needed to do that. So begin discussing that with your manager. Managers, think about the days which your people in your group will be able to telecommute and work from home. So there are no restrictions on which days. Maybe Monday, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and or Friday. It's kind of up to you and your individual, but you may have a concern if everybody is off working at home on a Tuesday or a Monday. You may not want a situation where if you have a lot of people in your group working from home, they're all doing it on the same day. So you may have to make some decisions. That's all part of the reason we want people that are interested in doing this, contact your manager now and begin those discussions. And then managers, once you've kind of got a framework of how you think it will work in your team and who in your team will be doing what, contact your VP to talk about it and get approvals, and then contact me for final HR approval. We want to make sure that there is lots of visibility on this so everybody knows what everybody's doing. So there's no mistakes or assumptions. So again, it takes that approval of the manager, the VP, and myself on behalf of HR. And then what I will do is set up times with you and the individual, and we'll have those telecommuting agreements signed, which is really just putting in writing what you guys discuss. And that will have the signature from the employee, the manager, the VP, and myself. So begin that process now. If you have questions, let me know. Send me an email, give me a phone call, and we'll try to get those answered. So switching gears to another topic. I think the answer to everybody reading that slide would be yes. So what do you have to do to do that? Well, we need people in production. I think most people are aware of this. This is true here in Columbus. This is true in Alabama. And we need those people that you see there for all kinds of reasons. I think everybody is aware that it is, you hear it in the news all the time, it's increasingly hard to get particularly entry-level people or semi-skilled folks into jobs in manufacturing in particular, but employment in general. And those are the positions that we have a high priority in trying to fill. We've slowly been filling those, but it's taking longer than what we want. And so this part of the presentation is just to remind you of some programs that have been in existence, but we usually talk more about these programs with our hourly employees, not so much with predominantly salaried employees, which are the folks primarily on this call. So we want to make you aware of that and let you know and remind you that if you know someone who's looking for a job or might be capable of doing any of or one or more of those jobs, please refer them to Allied. If you like working here, chances are they'll like working here. It's a good job for them and money for you. So what does that mean for you? Well, for them, we know it means a good job, but for you, the day that employee starts, their very first day of work, we'll hand you a $100 bill. And we've just started doing this. We've handed out probably about $700 and $100 bills by now. And those have all gone to folks out in the plant that have referred friends and family. And we want to make sure that the folks that don't work in the plant, again, which is mainly the folks on this call, are aware that you can take advantage of that as well. So we'll give you a $100 bill the day that person starts, and you'll receive another $600 for referring that person after they hit 6 months of employment. So $100 immediately, $600 later. You can do the math. Even I can do that math. $700 total for you. So please take advantage of that. If you want to stop by HR, both in Columbus and in Alabama, we've got these handy little business card size referral cards that you can hand out to people. Feel free to hand them out. They can actually write your name on the back so we know it was you that referred them. And it varies as the website tells them to go ahead and apply. There's no easier way for you to get $700 and no better way for us to get good employees than those that are referred by our current employees. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Richard Hodges. And Richard, I can go ahead and just click the slide for you when you're ready and give us an update on Project Evolution.
Sounds good. Thank you, Andy. You can advance to the next slide if you would. Great. So again, where are we now? What is happening? The overall issues list, we started February at Go Live, or actually the very, very end of January of this year with dozens and dozens of issues across the board. Many of these were urgent and slowing our production. Today, we look much better. We are lower in terms of a total across the board. All of these that we're tracking are important, but very few in the list actually are in what I would call the red category. So we have made some tremendous improvements. Appreciate everyone's patience, knowing we have a little bit further to go in a number of categories, but that's where we are in terms of issues. Our next item, we're reviewing all the requests that have come in, both from the project team themselves as well as from the business. Our general direction is to ensure we've implemented all the original requirements first. Original requirements are things like automation of bulk batch and open text, things like those. But then after that, we want to focus on all the ones in kind of a priority of the items that make us faster, save us money, or eliminate an issue. And so we're compiling that list right now. Some of them were in our hands before go live. Some of them are new ones that have come about. But essentially, we want to do it to reduce risk and to make us faster, to make us more efficient. And kind of with all that, we are declaring an end to hypercare based upon where we are, based upon the issues that we have today. We're exiting that phase. Next slide, if you would, Andy. Operations continues to hire. We just talked about that a minute ago with those bonuses, which is pretty good. Like $100 bill in my pocket right now. It's tempting. Tune the shipping configuration. And this is when first designed, the RF scans or the scan guns required 3 scans per pallet. Now we're moving that down to 1 scan per pallet. This is so far it's been in since this week, early week. Positive feedback from the team has been received on that, and overall this is going to make us faster. It might require less folks out on the floor to actually scan to pick in the shipping area. We're confident that that's gonna be a good thing for us. Again, making us more efficient. Tuning the batch configuration, it's the same thing actually. It's a reduction of scans. We're trying to get every process looked at a bit so we can determine if this is taking this long, why, how do we make it go a little bit faster. And this in part is the role of the business analysts working with the business themselves. So in this case, Justin Kreider and Mike Krasnodemski working together to identify these changes or areas where we might be a little bit more efficient. We will revisit the bulk batch solution. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. It was part of our original scope to make this fully automated into SAP. This is also going to make things go quicker, and that effort kicks off this month. Again, it was part of our original scope, but got put on pause for a number of reasons. But it kicks back off this month. Looking forward to that one moving forward. Continuing to monitor our metrics. This includes several measures. We meet weekly to review kind of with the governance committee, what do our metrics look like? How many batches have we produced? How many tons we've shipped? That type of thing over week since the beginning. And again, we want to leverage these to determine the best mix of resources and solutions to optimize the solution that we've put in place. Additional training is ongoing for the project team. And then in terms of hiring, I've said this before, but we're looking to hire an operations analyst and also a finance analyst as well. And we're also looking at kind of our global locations for the future to best place people for what's next. Because obviously, once we have this solution solidified, we'll be turning and focusing on the rest. Rolling the sales solution. That one, we recently did provide access to additional areas in sales. There were some initial login issues maybe with a few users, but most of the feedback we have on that so far is that people are in, they can see what they were looking for. And so I think that's a positive thing. And it really takes it from kind of the VP level and pushes it down and out to sales, which is positive. I think we've worked through most of those issues. There were just a few, and we're actively going to continue working with them to make sure that they have what they need. The last two I think I touched on last time, so just briefly, as we conclude hypercare, as we get our list of enhancements, we want to circle back with the entire project team and update the solution, because some of the things changed from blueprint till now, and we just want to make sure that those are captured and set for that last bullet, which is planning out of the future phases. And that's what I have for today. Thank you all. I'll turn it back over to you, Andy.
Okay, thank you, Richard. So sorry, you have to listen to me again. And I guess I will also say I'm sorry that I seem to be hogging most of the topics today, but sometimes it just works out that way. We do like to vary the presenters, vary the topics, but for better or for worse, you got me for the bulk of today. So hang in there. We're in the home stretch. Just one more section to go. But boy, we saved the best for last. We want to recognize the employees that became fully vested in fiscal year 2020. That's a big deal. And frankly, we've not done that in the past. And the ESOP Communications Committee has been talking about things that we can do to better inform employees, but also better celebrate the fact that we are an ESOP. And it is something we're celebrating. The more you learn about our ESOP, the more you appreciate not only ESOPs in general, but ours in particular. And you're going to be hearing more about that in the months to come, particularly in October, where we're going to have a special presentation by an outside individual who's going to talk to us about how really special our ESOP is. But our focus for today are those that became fully vested. And we're going to begin doing this every year, recognizing those that completed the vesting requirements to the point where they're 100% vested in the ESOP. It's kind of a graduation, if you will. And I want to, particularly for our newer employees, before I go through this, I want to explain real quick, again, what that means to be fully vested. So depending on your start date, you need to have worked 5 to 6 years with Allied in order to qualify for being fully vested. And fully vested means that if you were to leave employment with Allied in less than that 5 or 6 year period, I say 5 or 6 because again it depends on your hiring timing in the fiscal year. You have to have 1,000 hours of work each fiscal year to count that as a year of vesting. And your first year, you're 20% vested, second year 40, third year 60, and so on, till you have 100% vesting. So the key to remember is, particularly for newer employees, is that you get 100% of your ESOP contribution from the company, which is equal right now to 25% of your earnings for the year. Okay, 25% of your salary or wage, overtime, bonuses, the equivalent of 25% of that, 100% of that 25%. So all of that 25% goes into your ESOP account every year. But if you were to leave, that's where vesting comes into play. If you were to leave employment before you're 100% vested, you only get a fraction of that. So fully vested means that not only did all of the money go in there, but you get to keep all of it and you get the earnings on it, which is really the power of our ESOP. So sorry for the long explanation there, but I want to make sure everybody understands that, because now we're going to celebrate those that have graduated and become fully vested in fiscal year 2020. It'd be a lot better to do this in person, but we will do it digitally. Unfortunately, a number of these people are not on this call, but we want to recognize them anyway. So Mike Ambrose in maintenance, congratulations, Mike. Mansour Bashir, also in maintenance, congratulations, Mansour. Jesus Hernandez, congratulations in batching. Michelle Clark in customer relations, congratulations, Michelle. Brian Donardo, QA Tech. Sorry, Brian, that's an older photo of you. We tried to find one where you didn't have the mustache. You know, you don't have that anymore, but congratulations nonetheless. Cruz Alex Gasca, operations specialist. Congratulations, Alex. Whoops, try that again. David Gavlik in the janitorial. Congratulations, David. Brent Mellon in maintenance. We did a lot of hiring in maintenance back in 2015. Our maintenance planner, congratulations, Brent, fully vested. Daniel, also in plant janitorial. Congratulations, Daniel. By the way, these dates are their hire dates. They're not the date that they became fully vested. Shane Ritchie, Product Services. Congratulations, Shane. Hopefully you're on the call today. And Phil Shivers, congratulations. Hopefully you're joining us from Alabama today. Congratulations. And last but not least, Zach Williams in IT, who has a much bigger beard now than he did at the time of this photo. Congratulations, Zach. Oh, I'm sorry. Maurice Wright. I'm sorry, Maurice. Maurice is our last one. Another QA tech hired in 2014. But because he was hired on the second half of the year, he didn't have 1,000 hours in that first fiscal year, so that's why it's a 2014. So 6 years or more. By the way, I think I said 5 to 6 years earlier. I meant 6 years only. So congratulations, Maurice. Congratulations, everybody else. Our 13 folks who became fully vested in fiscal year 2020. We'll be doing some version of this every year, either June or July, and congratulating those folks that became fully vested. So congratulations to all of you. And last but not least on our agenda today, this is a reminder of some good news that you hopefully already saw, but if you have not, or you've been hiding under a rock, there was a memo from John R. Tabor that went out on July 1, letting everybody know about the special profit sharing bonus. I just want to make sure we hit that for everybody. As a result of our PPP loan forgiveness, meaning the loan that we got through the PPP program, and we got that loan from the federal government and to use for maintaining payroll. It allowed us to help not do any layoffs. It allowed us to keep everybody fully employed. We didn't restrict wages. We didn't restrict hours. We got that loan, and it has been forgiven by the federal government. We also realized almost $1 million additional net income than was originally understood when the bonus share was done in May. There was some SAP snarls we had to undo, and finally got that figured out. So we basically did better than we realized when we had to set our profit sharing bonus amounts in May. So there's an additional basically $8.5 million there. And so as a result, John announced in that memo that we would be doing a special profit sharing bonus. You have to be employed on 3/31/21, which was the requirement for the May bonus, and you have to be employed as of January 30, the day of the payment of the special profit sharing bonus. So both of those dates you have to have been employed. And the gross payment for most people will be equal to or greater than 25% of your fiscal year 2020 bonus. That is your December plus your May bonus together. Or if you didn't qualify for that and you got a appreciation award, you'll get an extra $240 gross as your special profit sharing bonus. All of that will be deposited into your account on July 30th. So another good reason that it's good to be employed at Allied, because we all share in the burden and we all share in the profitability, both in our ESOP and in our profit sharing bonus. So with that, I see some people starting to drop off the call. That does conclude our meeting today. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for the listening. If you have any questions about any of this, please let me know. If it's SAP related from that presentation, obviously let Rich know. Thank you. Have a good month. Enjoy that profit sharing bonus on July 30th, and enjoy your summer. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.